Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, checking your phone and saying that the USA stock market has completely crashed. Mortgages are frozen, credit cards rates have doubled overnight, and the United States government is panics. You turn off the news, exception to hear about a massive bank failure or a new global crisis, but instead you heard one word, Japan. Most people think America's biggest economy rival is China. They think the biggest threat to the USA dollars is somewhere in the Middle East. They are looking in the wrong direction. The country that holds the kill switch for the American economy is actually one of its best friends, Japan. Today we are going to break down exactly what happens if Japan decides to pull the plug on the USA's economy. I am going to show you the step-by-step timeline of how a single decision made in Tokyo could make you rent your car low and you closes completely unfavorably within weeks. If you think your money is safe just because it's in an American bank, you need to watch this until the very end. To understand how Japan could break America, you have to understand a very simple truth. America survives on credit cards. The USA government spends way more money than it makes from Texas. To cover the difference, it borrows money. It borrows billions of dollars every single day. But who is lending America all this money? Who is handing over the cash? For decades, the answer has been Japan. Japan is the number one foreign owner of United States debt. They own over $1.1 trillion of American debt. To put that in perspective, that is enough money to buy every single professional sports team in the world several times over. Why did they do this? Because for the last 30 years, Japan had a massive problem. Their own economy was completely frozen. Their interest rates were at zero. Sometimes they were even below zero. So, Japanese banks, pension funds, and everyday investors took their money and sent it to America, where they could earn a safe, steady profit. Japan became America's biggest ATM because Japan was always buying American debt. The US government could keep interest rates super low. This is the exact reason why, for years, you could get a cheaper mortgage, a cheap car loan, and cheap credit cards. You were winning is American dream, honored by Japanese same. But right now, everything is changing. After the decades of zero interest, Japan is finally waking up. Their prices are going up, their economy is shifting, and they are starting to raise their own interest rates. And that is where the nightmare scenario begins. So what if Japan decides they don't need American anymore? What if tomorrow they press the sell button? Let's walk through the micro stages of the collapse. Has won the great money migration. The Bank of Japan announced that they are raising interest rates to a normal level. Suddenly, Japanese investors realize they don't need. So what if Japan decides they don't need American anymore? What if tomorrow they press the sell button? Let's walk through the micro stages of the collapse. Has won the great money migration. The Bank of Japan announced that they are raising interest rates to a normal level. Suddenly, Japanese investors realize they don't need to send their money 6,000 miles across the ocean to get a good return. They can make money safely right at home, so they start selling of their $1 trillion in USA debt. They dump it on the open market. It is the biggest financial gargle sale in history. Has a two. The panic in Washington. Has a two. The panic in Washington. Here somewhere sells in massive amount of something. The price drops to find new burgers for its debt. The United States government has to make the deal sweeter. They have to offer much higher interest rate. Imagine a desperate person with a bad credit score begging for a loan. The bank is going to change them a massive fee. That is exactly what happened to the USA government. The cost for America to borrow money skyrocketed. Has a three. The Wall Street were poor. Wall Street is able to cheap money. When the government's borrowing costs go up, the borrowing cost for every major company go up too. Apple, Amazon, Tesla. Suddenly it costs them billions more just to run their business. Corporate profit vanish. Investor panic. The stock market start a massive pause. The stock market start a massive loss. Trillions of dollars in returns account. 401 KS in pension funds are ripped all in a matter of days. The stock market doesn't crash because of a bad company, it crashes because money simply becomes too expensive. But Wall Street is just the beginning. The real tragedy is what happened on Main Street. This is the domino effect that hits your wallet, because the entire American financial system is tied to the government's interest rates. Your life changes overnight. Let's look at housing. The days of 4% or 6% mortgage are essentially gone because Japan stopped buying or debt. Our mortgage rate shot up to 10%, maybe even 12%. That means a normal shelter home is now completely out of reach for 9% of the population. The housing market freezing completely. Nobody can buy and nobody can sell. Next is your car. After loans become so expensive that the monthly payment on a standard Honda Civic feels like the payment on a luxury sport car. The dealership go bankrupt because nobody can afford their financing. There it hits your credit cards. If you're scared, a balance your annual bank rate jump from 20% to 35% or 40%. The minimum payments double. Millions of ordinarily hardworking families and push ahead. Incurable bankruptcy simply because the interest on their debt becomes mathematically impossible to pay. So finally, small business start shutting down. The local bakery, the construction company, the teach startup, they are really on smart business. Load to make per loan and buy immediately. When Japan breaks the bond market, jobs will dry up. Millions of people lose their job, not because they are bad workers, but because the cost of money broke the system. Here is the most chilling part of this entire scenario. I want you to really think about this. The financial security of the most powerful country on earth is completely dependent on the kindness of strangers. We walk around thinking the American economy is an unbreakable fortress, but the truth is it's a house of cards, and the foundations of that house isn't built in New York or Washington. It is built in Tokyo. Japan doesn't want to destroy the USA economy. They are early, but in finance, they are non-friends. There is only math. If it becomes mathematically better for Japan to sell American debt and invest in their own country, they will do it. They have a duty to their own citizens first. The era of cheap money is ending. the giant RTF in the Pacific Ocean is slowly closing its door. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications.